In 2020, four friends decided to listen to every one of the greatest 500 albums as decided by Rolling Stone magazine. This resulted in a text chain that celebrated the music, excoriated the order, and led us to making this podcast. We are far from experts, and we promise to do almost no research. All opinions are our own unless you disagree. Please sit back and enjoy Beck Did It Better. From 1968, this is album 75, Lady Soul by Aretha Franklin. All right, guys, let's go. Oh, my voice. I don't know how Vince McMahon does it. It couldn't possibly be steroids. Okay, let's listen to K-Rob, K-R-O-B. Remember, this whole show is parody. All right, here we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to K-Rob, K-R-O-B. Now, we all know in Goldilocks, it wasn't too big or too small. It was just right. But sometimes big is just right. Oh, yeah. Aaron claims he'd never exchange. Aaron explained he'd never change his tool. 5 inches long, yeah.
Yes. Ooh, I like the soul.
I was good with life until Aaron told me he's built like a chef's knife. Now when I'm in, my kitchenette, my wife grabs the big knife.
Oh, no.
And I just shake my head.
Wait, what else rhymes with
but he never changed. Yeah, Aaron explained. Well, he always claims he'd never change his tool. He'd never change his tool. When you want to hear about the greatest albums of all time.
It's much more about love the one you're with than it being anything else. It's been with me 41 years. I mean, why wouldn't I?
Oh, man. Mine, I'd go right into the pawn shop. I'd go right to that Pawn Stars. I'd be like, listen, what can you give me for this? He'd be like, I can get you a nickel. I'd be like, all right, I'll take it. Whatever you got on the shelf, I'll exchange it right now. By the way, 5 inches, I realized I screwed up centimeters and inches there. That's my bad. Welcome, everybody, to Beck Did It Better. This is a show where we're going over the top 500 albums. We are all the way up to 75. We are talking about the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. Yes. Check out the Detroit WrestleMania to see Vince McMahon introducing Aretha Franklin in something that you didn't know you needed to see. I've got 3 guys here who had trouble researching this week because natural woman is already one of their top 3 search terms. I got Russell in Minnesota. Russell, how are you doing?
Rob, I know that it's a dumb shit co-host duties. It's to help and love the main hosts. And that's the way it was planned. But how can I give you all the things I can when it's a music podcast and I don't know shit about the bands?
I feel like maybe you should be doing the parody songs. I'm starting to think that you are actually writing better songs where you're not just writing me knife over and over again. I got Matt in Minneapolis, I got Matt in Minneapolis, by the way. Matt, how are you doing today?
BTW, doing well. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Love that energy. And I've got Aaron out in California who's wondering about the Big Naturals woman. And that's the same joke as before, but I just thought of it. I think it's good.
The natural naughty stuff, you know what I mean? Hey, our listeners know.
Oh, no.
Aaron.
This is Aretha Franklin. She's dead, Aaron. Have some respect.
Our listeners know that you don't need a ticket to get on board the Beck Did It Better train. So let's hop on board and roll with it.
All right. And a lot of listeners have been listening to that, and they have wanted a refund. Okay. I've had to explain to them a number of times. The podcast is free. You actually don't have to pay anything to get this, and they're still quite upset with me. Everybody, let's get into our voicemail.
So stupid. Kiss my ass. Dumb shit listeners. They can't even tell what we're doing.
Dumbest of the dumb.
God, they're so dumb. Dumb shits. They're just the dumbest of the dumb.
We got a long message today, believe it or not.
That was a shocker.
All right. I got a 2-part call today. I'm going to start with Rob's bad takes. Russ was totally right. Horrible movie takes from Rob. Ferris Bueller, yes. Christmas Story, come on. Classics. And also, no popcorn in movie theaters? Definitely a horrible take. You need to redeem yourself, Rob, and feel
I just want to say right now, if you agree with me, please text into the Beck line, #RobIsRight. And that's an evergreen one. You can just text that in whenever you want. But if you think Popcorn is no good, or Ferris Bueller is bad, or A Christmas Story is bad, #RobIsRight.
Haven't you already asked for that like 3 times?
Guys, no one has said Rob is right.
We're gonna get some calls on the 4th time of begging for somebody to agree with you.
I feel like maybe our text box is all full. I'm not quite sure how that technology works, but I think it's
that has happened. That has happened.
A lot of our listeners do still text with the ABC. Then they have to push it 3 times to get to the C. They still have a lot of flip phones, so it may be taking them a while. They might be click 1 for B. Okay, you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, here we go.
Feel free to pick on me for that, but Aaron's dad was right about your bad takes, except the part about the Drake realize.
Aaron's dad was right.
Still suck. Everyone else was right. He's wrong.
God.
All right, now I got a bone to pick with Russ. Talking about you guys. This was a layup for us. A complete layup. An utter layup.
Cut him off. If they're taking a boat with me, they can go fly a kite. Get out of here.
Okay, well, let's see, because he might be saying something really smart. Although so far he said some really dumb shit.
In the movie theaters, Russ, with his complimentary movie-going story from a number of episodes ago, somewhere in between 0 and 69, I'm not sure which, talked about the complimentary movies.
I lose my way in there, too.
I may happen to know some of the guys that he complimentary movies with.
Oh!
And know them well. And one of the ones that we complimentaried, the Bad News Bears reboot. A terrible reboot of a movie. I'm sure Rob likes it. In that movie, we didn't sneak anything in. However, we did sneak out the back door. Not we, somebody else I know happened to sneak out the back door, walked over to Cub Foods and picked up the 3-2 Minnesota beer because you can't get beer after a certain hour in Minnesota. And so you have to go to a grocery store and get the warm, crappy 3-2 beer. Snuck it back in through that same back door. Happened to have a celebration when the Bad News Bears celebrated at the end of the championship that they lost.
Oh, Jesus.
Keep up the great work, guys. Love the show. Bye.
So picture Russell's backdoor Santa of sorts coming in with this crappy 3-2 beer. And when the Bad News Bears lose at the end, they raise an actual beer in the theater. According to Matt, totally legal at the time.
I've drank some bad drinks on this, but I've never stooped to 3-2 beer, at least within recent years. So I do not think I was a part of sneaking any 3-2 beer into the Bad News Bears.
Did you see the Bad News Bears reboot in the movie theater, Russell?
Is that the Billy Bob Thornton one?
I think so.
Well, then I think if the answer is no, it's too late to be believable.
I kind of caught myself red-handed with that one.
I love the idea. I love the idea that you're like, oh, I got a lot to do. I'm pretty busy, but I better go check out this Bad News Bears reboot. Let's see what it's got in Rotten Tomatoes. -6. Well, that can't be good. Oh, well, let's go. So, Russell, so you would do complimentary movies. I had forgotten that you'd even told us about
I
that.
told you guys that I had friends that would do a thing called complimentary movies. And so they were guys I grew up with. And they were 2 years younger than me. So we were friends growing up, but we weren't always in the same grade. So I remember coming back from college one year and I went to a movie with these guys. And I don't recall it being the Bad News Bears, but it very well could have been. And we walked up and we were going to get tickets. And 3 of my buddies just walked right by the kid. They just walked by him and they're like, we're going complimentary. I was like, what are you talking about? They're like, this high school kid is not going to stop us. We're just going in to see it. So they 3 or 4 of them walked in. I did not participate in that. I went and paid for my ticket.
Oh, I thought you meant complimentary. I thought one movie theater was 60 degrees and one movie theater is 30 degrees. And so it was complimentary. I think I made that joke last time too, actually.
I was going to say there's probably a January 6th joke to be made in there, but I'm not going to make it.
Oh, Aaron. Jesus.
No, Aaron, let's dig in that. I like that idea. I love to be on some list. Actually, I love it. The downloads would be great. If one of us could commit a federal crime, I think it'd be great. We'd have to subpoena this whole thing. Downloads galore.
Did you guys have a favorite Bad News Bears movie back in the day? Did you guys ever get into those or not?
I've not seen any of them.
A favorite Bad News Bears? No, absolutely not. I think movies from the 70s suck. They're not good. I will say the Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3 with Walter Matthau, I did watch. I thought that was really good. But there's just something about I don't know what they thought was funny back then. Do I really need to see a kid say the N-word over and over? Is that something I need to see in a movie experience?
Man, Rob, you're just full of funny stuff tonight, aren't you?
Well, I'm just saying.
Come on.
Keeping it light. Just keeping it light.
That was in the Bad News Bears. I doubt it was in the remake. I don't think they had Billy Bob doing that, but Still, something to think about. I don't know. Do you guys have any movies that everyone else likes that you guys hate? If I'm so stupid for not liking Ferris Bueller, which does suck, by the way, it is boring.
I do not like the movies. Who's the guy who did Rushmore and the Tenenbaums and all those movies?
Oh my God, I love those movies. Wes Anderson
movies.
Wes Anderson movies. I think people who like those are complete morons. I'm out on Wes Anderson movies. I think they're terrible.
Rushmore is one of my favorite movies of all time. Oh, that's like a really influential movie.
What's your favorite line from Rushmore? There's only one good one, but what's your favorite line?
These are OR scrubs. Oh, are
these
they?
These are my OR pants. Oh,
or it's the one where he's like, I didn't know you wrestle. Yeah, I'm on the B squad. And he goes out and immediately gets pinned in the first 0.5 seconds. I love that movie. It's so good. Aaron, what about you? Do you have a movie that everyone else seems to love and you just don't get it?
No, I get all the movies. I always understand movies. I would never. There's never a time when I.
Are you a movie guy? Because you seem more like a music nerd rather than a movie.
Yeah, I'm not now. I mean, I always try to watch the Oscar-nominated films because I want to like. I mean, at this point, it's anything with Gary Oldman. I just can't. Like, I tried to watch Mank last year because it was Oscar-nominated, and anytime that guy shows up, I'm just tired of seeing his face. So like, I don't watch Batman Begins anymore because I'm just tired of Gary Oldman. Even though Fifth Element is in my top 5 movies of all time. But yeah, I can't think of any movies that everyone likes that I don't like.
I love the idea that you're like, the one movie I just can't watch anymore. Batman Begins. It's a classic that everyone else is putting on all the time. My kids are always saying, Papa, please let us watch Batman Begins. We love Mr. Freeze or whatever one that was.
I can't watch Gary Oldman anymore. And then like Dark Knight was great, but now you watch it and you're like, well, this movie's a mess. I don't understand what he's doing. And then Dark Knight Returns, like even bigger mess. It's just like Nolan waving his hands like, don't pay any attention to the man behind the curtain who's not really telling you a story. Don't get me started about movies, Rob. You don't want to hear about this.
I realize why we're not a movie podcast. None of us knows anything about movies. We all are just sitting here like,
what about Matt? Matt, what kind of movies
we know
do you
a lot,
not like?
Like we know a lot about music.
I would say I know more about movies than music.
From starting a music podcast.
Yeah. I personally can't watch, or I fall asleep in the movie theaters. If it's anything with a comic book hero, superhero, something like that, like all of the X-Men stuff. And what's the latest one?
Avengers?
Avengers. Oh, I mean, they've got some great like action scenes, but like trying to follow the storylines and who's and where. And I will say though, that going to those movies is hilarious and fun at the same time, because there's always that row of guys, and it's usually 4 guys in their early 40s who have nothing better to do on a Tuesday night but go to a Xbox or Avengers movie. And there's 2 guys.
I will scratch out my plans for tomorrow night. But
okay, Russell, I'm gonna take a rain check as well, Russell. That's on me.
But they know everything, right? And so there'll be some obscure like reference to like Black Panther or something, right? And like I don't know what's another X-Men character.
Okay, so first of all, these are Avengers. These aren't X-Men. It's DC
Avengers.
Marvel. So like Black Widow. Surfer.
So like Black Widow, all of a sudden there'll be a Black Panther. And it's, oh my God, did you see that? They're going nuts because they're getting some hidden reference that, the movie makers. So I don't know. I think it's hilarious to go to those.
Meanwhile, you're prying milk duds out of your molars for like 45 minutes, right?
Oh, no. That's the best part about those. Those things hang around for a while. You just let those things hang, let them marinate in there for a little bit and get some cavities filled the next day.
I have told everybody on this podcast, I'm dumb. I have a small brain. I'm a dumb guy. I just don't know it because my brain is so small. I can't comprehend how dumb I am.
That's a real thing.
My Milk Duds comment has gotten me so much hate in real life. I had somebody sit down with me the other day for 5 minutes and be like, are you serious? They think I'm joking about Milk Duds. Milk Duds are not good. They're like, it's caramel and it's chocolate. I'm like, and it sucks. The texture sucks.
The 2 best things put together. I think number 1 is chocolate and peanut butter in the form of like a Reese's peanut butter cup. Something like that.
Obviously.
Enough of them. But then chocolate and caramel is a close second. We got 1A and 1B.
So guess what? Have a caramello where the caramel is actually the way it should be in a nice, really
but it's
goopy,
so messy.
greasy
You can't eat a caramello without the caramel coming out, sticking to the paper, sticking to your lips.
That's the beauty of it.
You try to wipe it off and it rolls up into some kind of weird substance. You don't know what it is.
Yes, Milk Duds, totally not sticky. I mean,
if you want the absolute liquid caramel, you go with caramello. If you want something a little bit more congealed, you go with the Rolo. If you want that caramel, if you want that caramel that's is going to be stuck to your teeth for a long time, you go with the Milk Duds. All chocolate, all caramel. It's just a little bit of flavor, a little variation on it. So.
Now, I will say this. I'm a sucker for the caramel corn. When I get the 3 tin of popcorn, that caramel corn, gone.
No
Cheese,
chance.
gone. Butter goes in the garbage. Don't need it. Who cares?
I like Matt's comments about with the row of 40-year-old guys at the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Reminds me of times when I'd be at a dive bar and be like, wow, these people sure are here pretty often at this dive bar.
Now you're one of them?
Yeah, like, well, you're there to watch them.
And you're there. Yeah, you're there just enough times to realize that those people
this
are the
guy's here
same
every
people
time
that were
I'm
there
here.
last time.
Wait a
Yeah.
minute.
It's like, you know how they say 1 out of every 3 people are cheating, right? And you're like, I don't know if it's my wife or my girlfriend, but one of them is
One of
not.
them's not doing something they're not supposed to be.
I might have tooth problems though. That might be it. Because you know what one of my favorite candy bars is?
What?
A Three Musketeers. I think I just like
that's
soft
terrible.
foods. I think I just like goo. I like eating
It's like
goo.
baby food. You can just gum it.
I do. I like a Three Musketeers, and I know that's an unpopular opinion. Okay.
You just chew that with your tongue in the roof of your mouth. Like, I don't even have
love
to use
it.
my teeth on this one.
Oh my God. I love food where I really don't have to use my teeth. That's why I think I love ice cream so much. I've sent you guys like 4 pictures of ice cream in the last week.
Flan, butterscotch pudding, Three Musketeers, and oatmeal. That's it. That's what Rob likes.
My pictures that I've sent to these guys the last couple of weeks have been just me eating ice cream, just pictures of ice cream, nothing special, just ice cream in a bowl. And then a picture of me holding a chef knife to my crotch to emulate what it must like to be Aaron.
How did you feel when you held that chef knife down there? Did you feel any differently about
I just
yourself?
felt
or-
such power. I felt like such a man. It was unbelievable. Like my life, I'm convinced my life would be so much different if I had a huge dong. I just know I would be more confident. I'd be more like, I would never have been like, oh, let's make out, but like, let's just take our shirts off and like, that's it and nothing else. Like, oh, that'd be fun
Rosie,
too.
do you think your life's different? I mean, do you think your life's like better in any way because of that?
You got to at least start with the shirts off. Like, I mean, you maybe got to go more than that, but I mean, like, it's like you don't want to leave them on. I don't know. You're on the right track.
No, when I was with somebody, like me getting naked was like date 10. I was like, okay, let's maybe do the thing where I'm eating sushi off you or whatever. Okay, that's not really. All right, okay. I just ruined this conversation. Let's get into Rolling Going.
I'm gonna get my cocktail glass.
Uh-oh.
It's time for Rolling Going.
Oh, yeah. Great. I'm stuck on the podcast now with the guy with the 2 big wangs. All right, Rolling Going. Aaron, Rolling Going, how is it going with you tonight?
Man, it's rolling going really well. I got a bunch of stuff, so I'm gonna steal Matt's idea. I'm gonna do the list. The first thing I have to do is I have to issue a Beck Did It Better. I have to issue an apology. At the end of last week's episode, when Rob mentioned what album we're talking about this week, I believe that I said that Bernard Purdie plays on Lady Soul. I was incorrect. He plays on Young, Gifted, and Black. So we're not going to hear from Bernard Purdie tonight. We are going to hear some good playing. Apologies to everyone.
Aaron does what he wants.
Yep. So that was a mistake on my part.
Aaron, you're what? Okay, I'm just going to say this right now. Strike 1.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Fair. That's fair.
Okay.
I deserve that. That's fair.
Yeah.
Out of all the things you've done on this podcast and that apology, your dad had to be thinking, "Here it comes. Here comes my apology." And then you're like, "No, I got something music wrong."
I don't want to get it wrong. I mean, it's like it's like if you try to make a joke every 90 seconds on this podcast and then you didn't quite make some of them right. Like if I try to say something smart about music and I say it wrong, I gotta own up to it. So
sometimes you say things that are really offensive and you just have to edit them out, and then nobody knows except for your co-hosts who often look at you with abject terror in their eyes that what you said is going to go public.
But it's the end of 2021. Although I know this will be released in June of 2022 or so. But I've been taking stock of things I did in 2021. One thing I did was finally finish a book that I purchased at the beginning of the pandemic in March of 2020.
Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Finally finished.
How to Lie About My Giant Dong.
I finally finished Dead Astronauts by Jeff Vandermeer. And this was a piece of art that was like, you had to really work for it to enjoy it. And I didn't. It's one of those things where I didn't enjoy it until about the last 50 pages because I didn't figure out how to read it. So now I have to read it again. So shout out to art that makes you work for it. What's a piece of art or something that you guys had to work for to enjoy that then you felt was rewarding? And what's something that you just wouldn't work for?
That when I went to see the Van Gogh Experience, I did get to sit on the bench, but the bench was not very comfortable. So I had to like there was no back on the bench, so I had to like sit in an uncomfortable position and act like I was really enjoying it when really the whole time I was just like, man, I wish I had a chair with a back.
Yeah, that's fair. That's rough.
I honestly think jazz is something like that. Like, I'm not a huge jazz guy, but when you learn about jazz and you put some time into actually learning what's going on and what they're going for and what the different types are, I think it's just so much more rewarding when you actually have an idea of like, oh, like just me knowing, for example, the difference between bebop and modalities and like more of the freestyle stuff. Like, I that just has made it much more interesting to me when I'm just listening to it on my own. And part of, and like I said, I think when we started with jazz, is like, well, I listen to this to feel smart. But now I actually kind of feel a little bit smart about it. I just enjoy it so much more. But I'm a smart guy, so that's the way it is.
Beautiful.
I would also say theoretical physics too, but that's like second, so I don't know.
I mean, there's a number of these that always come up, right? Like you always wonder why something's in the Louvre, right, in Paris.
Yeah.
Like what makes it Louvre worthy?
Mm-hmm.
And so I still have no idea on some of it. And I wish I could know a lot more about, I mean, there's only so many hours in the day. I'd rather listen to music than read about painters, I guess, kind of a thing. But, when you're there, you're like, how or why is this important and things like that. So I've been to the Louvre twice. And
humble brag.
Hopefully go back a number of times because I think it's just, I love Paris, but going there is just, it's awesome to see the different eras, I guess. Mm-hmm. And then, again, what does somebody think is art? Same thing as music. Why is it on the top 500 albums list of all time, right? That kind of a thing. And so, I don't know, we're kind of diving into some of that here with this venture we're on. And I think we all are a little bit better because of it. But, the art world, that's our next podcast.
That's great. That's great. I love it. And obviously we're the kind of art that people have to work to appreciate. Right. So I like that exactly. Ties back to the kind of art that we're producing for the world.
Yeah, if you're wondering, I'll just say fucking Beach Boys, and then the real players know why that's fun. That's it.
Beach Boys.
Yeah.
And then I got a quick Lego update. Fuck Legos.
Yeah,
they've taken over. I can't stop stepping on them. These creations all over the damn house.
Set some boundaries.
Yeah,
you got to set some boundaries.
Son is so into them that he won't take a break, even though he's mad and can't focus anymore. And he's like, "No, I'm going to build this land speeder." And we're like, "Why else you need a break?" He's also, we're a very firm, no toy gun household.
Yeah.
We did get some Star Wars Lego sets that have blasters.
That works
in
till
them.
about age 6. I figured out, Rosie.
Okay.
We're on the same.
Yeah.
We're on the same trajectory, but by about age 6. Yeah.
So we're trying. I'm glad to hear, Matt, that you were, I'm always going to just come to Matt for advice on all this stuff, but he has figured out that he can say like, "Oh mom, this is a blaster in my Star Wars set, but this blaster shoots love. This is a love blaster."
I used that my sophomore year of college. I know exactly what he's going for.
Right?
That's a great line.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not the first time Aaron's wife has heard that pickup line, has she? Right, Aaron?
I was trying to set Rob up for the soundbite. This one's a love blaster.
Oh, okay.
Rob, give me that nut.
Oh, wait, no, that's the wrong one. That's my bad.
That's what I'm going to start calling him a penis.
The love blaster.
So that's it. I got it now. I got
or it could be,
penis. Thanks,
or it
thanks,
could be
Legos.
like kind of like a okay, now I get to go to bed blaster.
That's what I'm going to start calling
him. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, just kind of like I'm kind of medium about it. Like it's.
That's what I'm going to start calling him a penis.
I put up with it because I know the fight's going to be bigger if we don't use the love blaster.
That's what I'm going to start calling him a penis.
Something like that. Name of it.
Have you gotten sets, Rosie, or are we just doing straight up blocks?
Yeah, no, we got a bunch of sets. Yeah, we got.
I currently have. Let's see. I think I've got 15 of these sets to take apart, and I'm taking these sons of bitches apart.
What?
Putting them, and putting them in bags and then reselling them. Oh, there's nothing better than buy it.
Send it to me.
And then we probably have 15 of this hidden sides thing, and about 10 Harry Potter, and we got a couple new Harry Potters for Christmas, things like that. But save the box to save the books, Rosie, because there'll be some point where you'll be like, got to get these things out of here, and you'll feel so much better that if you're like, hey, I got a complete set, somebody else will take it, as opposed to just throwing it into one big bin and being like, well, that was a huge waste of $15,000. But yeah.
Thanks for selling me this kit on Craigslist. Can I see why it says Love Blaster real big on the outside? Like that doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Love Blaster. You got to tell them to start saying they're tranquilizer darts. That's what they do in the movies. Just say they're tranquilizer darts.
Yes, it's probably better. Yeah.
Also, I think your penis looks bigger because you have a small house. I didn't know where to put that in, but I'm just going to stick that in right now. I feel like it's kind of like having small balls. You know, it's like trimming your pubic hair. Like I was
trying to seed the floor to someone. I thought my rolling gun was
seed
done.
the floor with your love blaster. That's
Aaron. Your son listens to this podcast.
Oh my God, you're doing it standing up too. We know that's a young man's game, seeding the floor. Gross. Disgusting. That's when you know you're having a rough day, is when you're seeding the floor. Like,
no.
I'll just deal with that later. I'm so sleepy. All right, Matt, rolling going. How's it going with you?
Good. I've got a social situation that I need to ask you guys your opinion.
The advice corner?
Sounds like you need to go to the corner.
Advice?
Well, I don't know if it's that, but like,
nope, I already hit it.
I don't get
Matt, social advice.
Oh, yeah. Corner.
I don't get too worried about too many things, right? Like somebody doesn't like my shoes or, like what I'm wearing, whatever. I feel comfortable in it.
Right.
But every time somebody says, do you want a piece of gum? I feel like I've been walking around with the worst breath in the world for the last hour. I mean, is that true? Like, if you have a pack of gum in your pocket, okay, do you just randomly offer it to people just out of the goodness of your heart, or do you only offering a piece of gum to somebody when you know they've got bad breath?
It's got to be random, because my wife offers me gum all the time. So it's got to be just be a thing where you're just being nice. It's got to be. I don't know. I'm not a gum guy. I don't carry around gum in my pocket.
Is that because your breath smells like mulch?
Oh, Aaron. Do we need to have your wife pull you out of this one tonight? You're
Aaron, come on.
It's been a long day tonight.
He's got mulch around the tiny house with the love blaster.
But, and then, do you ever let anybody know that they've got bad breath? I never let anybody know.
What is to be gained by doing that?
No, nothing. I would only offer gum to someone who has nice smelling breath. If someone were near me and they had bad breath, I would never offer them gum. I would not want to.
But how often do you smell somebody's breath? Like in a week?
Never. I mean,
do you ever smell anybody's breath? Like, I barely even smell my wife's breath.
But there was a guy I used to work with, had horrible breath, right? There's a buddy of mine. Horrible breath. I know he's got horrible. Every time I hang out with him, he's got horrible breath. Not one of you three. Somebody from Richfield, so don't worry about it. Things like that. Like, there are people who have issues, right? I don't think I got issues. But again, every time, it's like I go into this clam and then I stop talking to people and I'll just talk to them like this, instead of, things like that. And like the mask thing, I think has helped a whole bunch of people. But I don't know. That's like the one social situation where somebody's like, would you like a piece of gum? And I'm like,
I tell my kids it's the 4-second rule, right? If a person can't fix it in 4 seconds, don't tell them about it. They don't need to know. Like, if they can't fix it right then, you're not helping them by telling them what's going on.
Rob, does that mean Jenny has told you that you can fix your love life because you're able to do it in under 4 seconds?
Yeah, no, trust me.
This.
I made the joke before, but I would love to do it in under 4 seconds, okay? Sometimes maybe under 4 seconds would be better than like 45 minutes when everybody actually really gets mad. And then you have to have a real conversation about stuff. So, I don't know. Matt, if somebody's offering you gum, I wouldn't worry. But I will say this, the masks have made me realize that I'm a fucking monster. Like, everything I do, I'm a terrible person. My masks smell terrible. I burped once. I almost barfed when I burped in my mask. It was terrible. I was like, what is this? Is this me? Is this what I'm like? Like, it's awful.
So how often do you wash these masks, Rob?
I just have a lot of masks. I just did what I
just keep buying new ones.
Did what I do to solve so many problems is I just bought a ton of masks. Actually, I do have that problem though with shoes. Like, for a long time, my shoes smell terrible. I have terrible smelling feet.
You can wash those.
But I just bought a ton of shoes. I have like 8 pairs of shoes that I rotate. And I also found I need to be very specific about the kind of socks I buy. But it's like, it's just something you deal with as an adult, and you got to kind of figure out. And guess what? Sometimes you put on the wrong socks, and sometimes your breath is going to stink. You come over sometime, Matt. I'll smell your breath. I'll get way in there. I'll tell you what's going on. I'll be honest with you.
Well, I will see you in about 3 weeks. January 14th to the 17th. We'll be in Las Vegas.
This is not an open invite.
I'll see you at the link, and we will check it out.
I was always taught to check my breath is that you lick the back of your hand and you smell it.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Christ. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Mistake. Huge mistake.
I'm all right.
Then you're good. Mine smells like somehow
it's friendly with you, Matt.
Coffee and old cereal. I don't know.
Matt, when people offer you the gum, are they giving gum to themselves as well, or is they just offering it? I think it's just they're just being nice that if they're taking it too.
But then it's like it's even worse when it's like in a work situation, right? Like if you're, it's not just like, hey, hanging out at the sports page, watching Gopher football. You know, hey, have
Tomorrow
some gum
night.
kind of a thing,
Yeah.
right? It's like
7 p.m.
you're
Central, Magic Mike. Come on by the sports page. Go
Do you
for
think-
football.
Matt, what if you just started smoking cigarettes? Like maybe just go all the way. Like just cover it all the way up. Smoke some Marlboro Reds. I mean, who cares anymore, right?
Ooh, those are my favorite.
You know, I only know a couple people who smoke cigarettes, you know, and usually it's when we're in Vegas, January 14th through 17th at the lake.
The Camel Crush.
You know, some people just have problems. I mean, it's like they just go nuts all of a sudden, you know. And sometimes those people, they start to smell a little different. Maybe bad breath would be okay compared to the smoke smell that they've got on them. I don't know.
Yeah, some people when they start smoking like that too, they realize right away how off-putting it is because you instantly have to stand way away from everybody. And now the people you're hanging out with are the exact opposite of people that you actually want to be hanging with. And they realize almost instantly it was a mistake, but suddenly they're hooked after one or two and they actually can't stop or it makes them feel bad. So something to think about.
Matt, have you ever thought too, the person who's probably giving you gum is probably someone who has bad breath themselves. Like they're aware of what the problem they have.
I think they just don't want to be rude by having one on their own. Smelling bad is like a top 3 fear, right? Though, like I don't know. I always thought maybe it was just me as a big guy, but like I think smelling bad is an all-time fear, right? It's like smelling bad. Your balls coming out when you're teaching.
Social situations in general, just like being around other humans.
Russ finding out about our text chain, stuff like that. I mean, it's scary stuff.
What?
You know. Nothing. Never mind. Russ, where am I? Russ,
Top
where are we
going? Your wife coming in during the podcast and reminding you that no one has taken the garbage bins down yet, and you trying to frantically say, "I'll take them down after the podcast," and her saying, "No, I'll take them down right now because it's too dark to take them down later." I mean, just riffing here. Maybe that's a
ever smell your breath and see what's going on. And by the way, please focus on the podcast. Don't ever get distracted like that again. So Russell, rolling going. How's it going with you?
Rolling going. Things are going good. As Aaron said, it's December 27th at 10:10 p.m. right now. I know it's important that we say the time and the date, but we're going to be past it. But New Year's is coming up, and I thought I would stay in Matt's advice corner and get some dating advice from you guys here.
Let's go.
We are experts.
You want to know the best dating advice? Stay fucking home on New Year's Eve.
Yes. Do not go out on New Year's.
Do not go out.
Nothing to be gained.
Order a pizza. Go to bed at 10 o'clock.
Did I ever tell you about the time I went out on New Year's and I went to somebody's house and we had like a 1-year-old and it just sucked. It was that time when you have a kid and you're still like, oh, we're cool. We can go out and do stuff.
Yeah.
So then we get out, we get into the car, we're driving. Jenny's in the back seat with the baby. I stop at an intersection in downtown Minneapolis and somebody just gets in my car because they think it's an Uber. They just get in.
No.
And so I immediately go like super Uber dad mode, like protective, like silverback. And I go, get the fuck out of my car. And I'll never forget the guy looks at me and goes, oh, sorry, man. Jeez, chill out. And I was like, yeah, I should have actually chilled out a little bit. Like, it's not his fault. He's loaded. In fact, you know what I'd probably do now? I'd be like, hey, bro, you're right. Where are we going? Let's give him a ride home. Let's give an Uber home. Let's do it.
Cash only here.
Yeah. And then he would pull out a knife and stab me and be like, it was a double trick stabbing. Oh, not again.
Not again.
Yeah. He'd stab me in my pants and be like, oh, God, you have a small cock. I'd be like, oh, this is a knife and I'm humiliated.
Joke's on you. You missed.
Okay, Russell, that was a great roll going.
Well, I don't know if I've got much else, but I think the last time I asked you guys for advice like this, it was on Valentine's Day, and Matt told me to take the girl to White Castle.
Yeah,
and now I'm single again, so I figured I better get better advice this time around for New Year's Eve. What's the fun date to do on New Year's Eve? Do you dare going out? Do you go to like one of the nice restaurants, or do you do the thing where you pay the big cover, or what do you do on New Year's Eve if you're going to do something fun for a date?
A surprise to no one that I'm going to suggest a dive bar, which I think I also suggested for Valentine's Day. So you might want to listen to Matt or Rob on this one.
No, I was going to say either like an early dinner, if you can get a reservation, right?
Yes. Yeah,
like an early, like a 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock dinner, maybe a drink out somewhere else, but then literally home by 9 o'clock. There is nothing
to be gained?
Nothing. No, I'm just saying, like all of that money that you would spend on bottle service and then, having to the next day retract the purchase on your credit card, things like that.
I got
things like that.
That's why I didn't pay the bill.
Okay, but like going out and the hype, again, I've talked about this a number of times, New Year's and then Halloween, any of these things, the hype is so much greater than what actually happens at those things, at least in my experience. So if it's me, Russell, I'm going to have either the best meal I can have at some fancy restaurant, or go to a dive bar and just hang out and watch all the other foot freaks around, getting just hammered. And then you make it home safely about 9-10 o'clock and just we're getting too old, my friend. We're getting too old to be being up past midnight all the time, things like that. So
that seems like a mean old daddy answer. That sounds a little mean old daddy-ish to me.
I'm with him on it.
Rob, what about you? I bet Rob's still a guy who will go out occasionally on a New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve is the greatest night to stay in. There is nothing better to do on New Year's Eve. You know me. We've talked about it before. I got 4 words for you, Russell. Homemade charcuterie board. Get yourself a homemade charcuterie board. Go out, go to Whole Foods, buy some whack-ass cheeses. You don't even think, just say to yourself, what would Aaron put on the charcuterie board? And just do that, right? Like,
I'll send you a picture. We made one on Christmas.
They don't sell. They don't sell dandelion greens up here in Minneapolis.
Do they have a cheese that costs?
My lawnmower's in for the winter. I don't know if I can get anything for that.
I bet you they got them at the Wedge. I actually got an actual dandelion bloom in one of my dandelion greens about 2 weeks ago for the first time ever.
Christ.
I bet you they got them at the Wedge Co-op though.
It's a feature. It's a feature, not a bug, folks. Except there was actually a bug in there too, along with the bud.
Well, that's so here's the thing. The bugs are still alive.
Yeah, Aaron's like, look at this kind bud I got. It's like a dandelion green. It's like, oh, what a bummer.
Isn't there some sort of worry though if you're dating someone and you're like, hey, we just need to stay in, that it makes you seem old, it makes you seem not fun?
You are old.
No,
you are old.
You're old as shit, Russell. Update. Yeah. You are old as hell.
You are old.
And I'm gonna tell you what. You know what old people can do? They can go down and buy a fucking $50 wheel of cheese. Go out and find a piece of cheese that seems so expensive.
Yes.
Okay. That you'd be like, who the fuck would buy that cheese? You buy that cheese, right?
Yes.
Go to a guy that just
buy
sells
an $80 steak and then cook it yourself. Right. And then it's going to be awesome.
$100 champagne. Do it.
Buy meats only from other countries. Get Spanish hams. Put them on there, okay? And pretty soon she'll be putting her Spanish hams all over you. You are set.
Vienna sausages?
No.
Hey, baby, I got these Canadian bacons. They're specialty meats.
I'm telling you, put some bangers and mash on there, Russell. The joke writes itself. You are set. Get a meat board. We do this all the time. We get a meat board. We get a nice bottle of champagne. And then we watch Pitbull for the next 4 hours host New Year's Eve specials. The bands and the music on New Year's Eve specials is my favorite night. I am obsessed. I am right now up north in the middle of nowhere. I know exactly where I'm going to be New Year's Eve because I love watching the music. I love watching the ball drop. I love watching I love watching Mariah Carey make an absolute fucking fool out of herself. It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite holidays. You got to be home for it. Okay. Going out sucks.
And at 12:01, when all the hype's over, you are home. You're already home. You're not having to worry about getting a text.
And you got some extra champagne and charcuterie.
Me up, man. I thought your dad would pick me up if I asked nicely for a ride this time.
Where do you think all of this mean old daddy stuff is coming from? I learned from him. So he's got the teeth in the glass by 8:30.
Go buy a cutting board for $100, spend $50 on some cheese and buy some meat from Europe. You are going to be set, Russell. I am telling you, it's the perfect New Year's Eve. We got to get out.
Are you guys ready for
ask and answer?
That's it. Time's up.
What, Aaron? What are you going to say?
That was
Are you guys ready for the bleep joke of the week?
Yes.
Let's hear that bleep joke of the week.
Bleep joke of the week. Here it comes. Maybe Rob can come pick you up.
Oh Jesus!
Is Rob's biggest fear coming true?
No, it's not a fear. It's actually quite fine. Okay, it's not a big deal to me. Oh, sweetie, did I take the garbage out earlier? Damn right I did. Thought about it anyway. She did it. I was too fast to step in and do anything, but I actually thought about doing it. So, all right, let's get into. I got to do my rolling going still.
Yeah, well, how's it rolling going with Rob?
So it was my daughter's 13th birthday party. I now am official dad of a teenager.
Wow!
Which
you feel different?
No, not at all. She was cranky a couple days ago and she was cranky today. So things are always the same.
Teenage girl, right? So look out.
It is 100% the same, but we did do the thing where we basically harassed her into telling her, where do you want to go for your birthday? And then she'd say like, I want to go to a movie. And we'd be like, no, we're not going to do that. What do you want to do for your birthday? She finally fell onto going to a trampoline park. So I actually, after all the
serious
talk
beef about this
last week, we actually went to the trampoline park this week. Now, I did the really cool thing where I wore a really loose pair of jeans. So when when you see slow motion videos of me jumping, it does look like I've taken a giant shit in my pants in every video that you watch. And my bald spot is magnified. But I will say, when I got out on the trampoline, I was kind of like, I'm an athlete. I'm like a super athlete. And I used to be really good at trampolining. Like I had a trampoline in my backyard. I could do a flip. It was no big deal. And guess what? I am still fucking good at trampolining. Like, sure, did I land once on my wrist and I thought maybe I broke them? Yes. The first time I landed on my butt sitting down, did I feel like maybe something had like dislocated itself? Yes. Did I jump for about 2 minutes and then was so tired, right, that I thought I was going to pass out? Absolutely. But guess what? I am still a god at trampolining. Now, this trampoline park had a couple things. Okay. Number one, it had what I want to put, if I had $1 million, this is what I would put in my house. A trampoline with a basketball hoop at the end.
Oh, nice.
I was throwing down dunks that looked okay in regular speed, but then when you do it in slow motion,
I don't like to interrupt your
awesome.
rolling going because I know that you wouldn't do that to me, but I don't like to interrupt. But you sent us some videos of these dunks, and they were sick, man. You stepped up. You threw down some sick dunks. Major props.
41 years old, and I sent a video of me dunking on a trampoline to 3 guys, and I got in reply high compliments. Probably the greatest compliments I've ever gotten in my life. They were like, "That was awesome."
So mad and so happy for you at the same time.
Oh, it was great. Then I also did a flip into the ball pit. Not a big deal, but the problem is it was a foam pit, right? And it turns out, I think growing up, I always thought quicksand was going to be a big deal, right? It's in all these movies. It's in all these shows. Yeah, it's a classic bit of like, oh, there's not really quicksand, like blah, blah, blah. There is quicksand. And it's a foam pit when you're a big fat guy. Because I got into the foam pit, right? And so I would sink and then I would struggle and I would sink farther and farther. And I did have a moment of panic of like, what the fuck am I going to do? Because then I would like slowly
lay flat.
I tried to lay flat and I would get to the edge. And then the edge, because I'm pushing the foam down so far, the edge is like 3 feet above my body. So I'm like, well, how do I get out of this foam pit? There's no ladder. There's no steps. There's no nothing. I had to do like the classic fat guy get out of the pool where you like barely pull your body up and then get onto it and then roll over and like get out of the foam pit that way.
That's the infamous Darren from Kennedy beached whale move on the side of the pool. Have you ever seen that move?
Where he rolls in, right?
He goes and lays on the side of a pool on his stomach and kind of wiggles around like he's beached, and then he waits for someone to come push him back into the water.
That was like me, but it was getting out of the foam pit. And the worst part is when my feet sank to the bottom of the foam pit. It was wet. There was wetness down at the bottom of the foam pit.
Oh,
I don't want to think about it. It's like when I sat in a movie theater in New York City and I just sat in a wet seat and I go,
that's the worst.
Somebody must have spilled their drink. That's the only explanation. Oh, well, moving on with my day, not thinking about how my wet pants are probably some other guy's urine. Well, I told my wife that's how she got chlamydia, actually. So that was part of our business that we came up with the other day, so I did see it in a pee seat. That's how she got chlamydia. But I was happy to see that there was no weight limit at the trampoline park. I was a little worried about that, but there was none. So I could dunk away to my heart's content. My only regret is I did not grab onto the hoop and do my legs up or like stick my arm through Vince Carter. Like that was my only regret. So Aaron, what's your beef with me?
My beef is that I told you last week that my dream is to have a trampoline again. And then all of a sudden Rob just goes out and lives my dream and is sending me pictures of it. Like no big deal. Like I wouldn't be jealous or, feel a lot of FOMO that he's out there dunking on a trampoline. My question though, I saw these videos. They looked amazing. Did you rent out the space? There was no one else there. Did you have to rent it and reserve?
No, there were other people there, but they would not jump next to me when I was jumping. It was a full-blown trampoline park. We were in there. Other people were in there, but I made everybody get out of my shot when I was moving.
The parents at the trampoline park are pointing at you and saying, that's the type of guy who leaves wet stuff at the bottom of the pool.
Yeah. The trampoline park has got it figured out, though, because the water there, you can buy it by the bottle. It's like $5 a bottle or whatever. And then they've got, they know that you buy after like 5 minutes jumping, you're like, I need water. I'm so thirsty. And then, of course, they got like 3 crane games and it's a whole.
Rob, was there a weight limit where people are prohibited from joining the thing, or were you just worried that there could be one?
There was not. I didn't look, but nobody said anything to me. So I was like, oh, this is great. And sure enough, when I got on the trampolines, it turns out for once my weight made me a better trampoliner. I was flying. God, I was just like as light as air. Okay. And then I got slightly sweaty and I realized maybe I didn't put deodorant on that day. So back to the fear about smelling bad. But what can you do? Nobody's perfect. Unfortunately, my daughter, the crane game, I did not win anything. So my daughter did not get a birthday present that day. It was a real bummer. All right.
Did the dog get one?
It's time for Let's talk about the album. Oh, yeah.
That $50 you spent on the crane game would have really gone far on
Oh, my God.
birthday present, right?
You could have bought her some real nice. Couple of
I tell my
CDs.
kids, they want to do the crane game all the time. And crane games, do you know what they cost now? Do you know what this crane game costs per play?
Well, it depends.
No
Is it an automatic winner one? Because some of them you win every time, right?
Is it a duck machine? Because
this was the giant ducks or the giant like rubber things that pull. I mean, it's all shit, right? Like how much is that stock?
Oh, yeah.
How much does that cost?
It costs like 13 cents. Yeah. Per thing.
It's $1 per grab. Okay.
Oh.
And I've got two kids, right? And of course, one of them, they both have to play. So that's $2. And I tell them all the time, you're not going to win. You're not going to win. You're not going to win. Sure enough, every time they play, oh, I didn't win.
But that's part of the
like
fun,
I told you,
isn't
this
it?
is like life. You spend money and it sucks and you don't get what you want. Congratulations. That's the way it is. It's terrible.
Life is shit.
Aaron, your kid loved the crane game? Do you ever do crane game? Or does your kid even know what that is?
He only knows about it from reading his Toy Story graphic novel. So we've not done the crane game otherwise. But in Toy Story, it's the claw. So he's not seen one in real life. He's going to flip his lid when he does.
Oh, totally.
His thing now is pinball. There are pinball machines at the ice skating rink. So he's just like, we went back today. He's crazy for the pinball.
Classic
He's a
fat
pinball
guy
wizard.
move. He might be a future fat guy, Aaron. You better look out going to the ice skating rink and just playing video games. Ooh, that sounds a lot like my childhood.
Leo and Eddie and I've got it down. So like Eddie's the one who's working the stick, right? I'm the one in the left and right facing it. Leo goes to the side of the machine. He's the front and back guy.
Oh, I
so
love
we've
it.
got a 3-man team, and we do pretty darn good at the old crane game. So
I am this is where I'm a great uncle again. I lie to my nieces and nephews, and I always say the crane game is broken. I'm like it's out of order. And then I'll point at like the instructions, and I'll say it says it's out of order here.
oh, you're a mean old uncle.
I did have fun. I will say, hanging out with my niece and nephew this weekend because all of my jokes are good again. My kids hate all my jokes. They think it's the worst. My niece and nephew, I don't know if they thought they were good, but I got to tell them and I got a reaction. Like we pull up to the trampoline place. I go, oh, it's closed. And they're so sad. They're like crying sad. I'm like, I'm just kidding. It's open. Now, is that a joke? Just lying about something? I don't know, but it's what I got. All right.
Did you tell them the joke about the gray pubes or whatever that one was from a few weeks ago?
Dusting the broom? Is that what we called it? Yeah, they didn't think that was funny. That was a lot more questions than answers with that one. Okay, so let's talk about Lady Soul. And we definitely remember what year it was released. We don't need to go back. If you're wondering, just push the back button about 30 times and you'll be able to hear it.
1968.
From 1968, this is Aretha's 14th album. And this was actually released a year after I Never Loved the Man Away I Loved You, but it's not her next album. Like she released a couple albums in between there. It's wild to think. You've talked about this before, man, how they're just like put out albums to make money. And these artists were just putting out album after album after album.
Sing, we'll put it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Although with Aretha, is it easier for her to put out albums because she's doing so many covers? You know what I mean? Like she's just taking hit songs already and re-singing them. Like, I don't know. There were a lot of covers on this album, right? Am I crazy?
You are, but not because of that. Yes, there are a lot of covers.
James Brown, Curtis Mayfield. I'm looking at a few of them.
I don't know. When you have a voice like Aretha, though, you're just like, okay, well, let's pick a song and arrange it, and I'm going to make it a hit.
And if you're writing songs, you want somebody like Aretha singing your song, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in theory.
Yeah, this is definitely a product of the music and label machine of the time, right? Like, let's get Aretha with a great band to sing a bunch of great songs, and that's an album you can cut in a day, or I don't know, maybe it was longer than that, but you can cut that quick, get it out. People will buy it because it's Aretha singing great songs.
But the big news is this album was recorded down at Muscle Shoals once again.
There we go.
Right? And so we talked about how last time she recorded 2 songs on there for I Never Loved the Man Away I Loved You. And then her manager punched a trumpet player in the face and they immediately had to leave and go record somewhere else. But this, along with that album, this was the other album of hers that went to number 2 on the Billboard 200. The 3 hit singles off this album, You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman, Chain of Fools, and Since You've Been Gone, Ain't No Way, which is the last song on this album, which actually charted higher than Chain of Fools. It was a higher charting song
Kelly
than Chain
Clarkson
of Fools,
sang that song.
which I couldn't believe. That's who sang that. Since You've Been Gone. on. That I'm telling you what, a banger. Like American Idol for a while
100%.
there, they were
100%.
nailing it. Like Kelly Clarkson is a legit star.
Not
And
as
she
good
just
as Party in the USA, though. Or what was the one that Rosie hadn't heard?
Wrecking Ball. Still haven't heard it.
Yeah.
But I did watch Very Merry
Fuck.
Christmas twice this year with Miley Cyrus singing Silent Night.
Now, am I a bigger Justin Guarini fan? Yes, I am. Okay. Check out from Kelly to Justin with love. Okay.
Justin Guarini. Dude, we're guys, we're less than 6 degrees of separation from Justin Guarini.
No.
The aforementioned Grammy-winning Adam Lubke, who we went to college with, went to high school with Justin Guarini. So that's it. We're 3 degrees of separation from American Idol right there.
Sounds like 2.
Would it be hard for us to get Justin Guarini on this podcast? I'm going to say absolutely not. Okay.
I think we could do it. I think we could do it.
There's 100%
I think we're
chance.
also 3 degrees away from anyone who will ever listen to this podcast again after that one, Aaron.
Fair. That's fair.
We're
Let's
also
talk
1
about
degree
Aretha
away
Franklin.
from Ruben Studdard because some of us look a lot like Ruben Studdard. I'm sorry for 2004.
No
oh my
doubt.
God. I realize how old I am when I realize the song is I'm sorry for 2004.
Rob, what's your third sentence about
Oh
this
my
album?
God. That was it. I don't have any more. I mean, there is.
Let's hear it.
I'll tell you right now. There is. Some people might say maybe driving up through a snowstorm up north maybe took some of my research time away, but I'm not going to say that at all. All right, let's get into Lady Soul. Great name of the album, by the way. Chain of Fools. Ooh,
That's such a
Slamming start to an album, huh?
yeah. It's hard to beat. I mean, Never Loved a Man starts with respect, right? So that's hard to beat, but this is close.
I think the whole time I was listening to this, I was like, do I like this album more than the other one we listened to? And I think I do. I think obviously Respect is a great, bigger song than these, but
This has some real hits on it.
just the bass and the grooves on this album, I thought were so strong. Because listen, Aretha, nobody's voice is better. Like we can just accept that. It's great. Just so funky. Ooh.
Aaron, did you know that this song was originally written for Otis Redding?
No, I did not. Did he? But he never recorded it, did he?
No, I don't think so. It was written for Otis Redding, and then they ended up giving it to Jerry Wexler instead, and then he gave it to Aretha. So Otis never recorded it, I don't think. But what would you think of?
I would have loved to hear Otis sing it, and that's fun because as we talked about on Never Loved a Man, he wrote Respect, and then Aretha stole his song, and he knew it. Like he knew she did it better than him. I would have loved to hear Otis sing Chain of Fools. He could have done it right. I think.
Oh, the one thing with this album though is I wish that we could get an album that sounded as good as like a Kanye album or as like a
what's the deal with the
Steely
Muscle
Dan
Shoals
album.
sound? It's muddy. I don't love the recording
It's swampy,
quality.
Aaron. It's swampy.
It's
Yeah, why
groovy,
is it
it's
swampy?
funky, but it does sound like she's kind of like in a room next door.
No, you're
kind of
right.
listening.
The grooves are good, but like if you hear it, like it sounds like the mic couldn't deal with her voice, and maybe that's true. I don't know.
But really, I mean, the whole Muscle Shoals thing is all about the backing musicians, right? I mean, that
That's
they
true.
were so good, and they were, like nobody. I don't think anybody's ever said, "Wow, what a great studio!" There's great recording equipment, things like that. It's always about the band that's backing. That's the Muscle Shoals sound and everything. So,
All right, yeah, I get it.
You look in Studio B, and there's the Allman Brothers. Okay, and they're cranking out their biggest hits of all time. It's all great.
They used a lot of water for those Allman Brothers to make
Tell
those
me, guys,
almonds.
not
Like a
just
lot of water to
at the
make those
expense
hit
of the salmon.
guitar
And think of
songs.
the salmon in the Delta.
Yeah.
How are you going to put locks on your charcuterie board?
I'll tell you what. I was thinking of the salmon, Aaron. I was thinking of the salmon. I switched to lactose-free milk when I was down visiting my sister.
There you go.
A disaster. Okay, it was a disaster. When you are visiting someone else's
2 weeks
house
in a row,
and your tummy is upset, like terrible, very rude, and I blamed Aaron 100% of the time. I said, Aaron didn't take out the trash today. He also screwed me over on this almond milk thing. He's not having a great week. And then I remember the chef knife, and I was like, he's actually having the greatest life of all time.
He's
I'm
doing
incredibly
just fine.
jealous. All right, money won't change you.
Yeah, the band's just on fire on this one too, right?
James Brown song, right?
Yeah.
That's right. That's where I've heard this.
Do you guys think if we started making money on this podcast, it would change us or not?
Yeah, hell yeah, it would change me.
Change Aaron for sure.
You think so?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, I would have 2 cars. No, I'd still only have 1 car, but it'd be nicer.
I was picturing myself in a giant Beck Did It Better cape that I would walk around with, and thinking if money would change me. Like I'm wearing the hat and I'm pulling up in the limo to the recordings, you know?
No, for real. Like I really thought hard about buying a Volvo the other day, and then I was like, no, that's too much money. I would buy that Volvo if we made a bunch of money on this podcast.
Oh my God. Aaron.
Yeah, well, you're never going to get to buy that Volvo, Aaron.
Even Aaron's dreams are the most boring thing I've ever heard of in my entire life. Okay?
Honey, you can't wait to hear this.
Yeah.
I was driving a Volvo last night, and I was like going 55 and a 55.
Plus, you know, I respect my wife too much to buy a Volvo. I mean, it's right.
It's a plug-in.
Oh,
but it's a plug-in hybrid. It's such great technology, and like
I
you
heard
can't get the cheap
That was a good
ones.
joke. I
Like,
like that joke.
Yeah, my kid walked by when I said it too, but guess what? I still did it because I love the podcast so much. So the Volvo is a plug-in, huh? It's a plug-in hybrid. That's interesting. What color? All right.
Pink. What other color would it be?
People get ready. And of course, the whole time I'm listening to this, I'm thinking about Bob Marley.
Right. It's a Curtis Mayfield song, Impressions. She sings the hell out of this thing.
Oh.
This is like the definition of wailing, isn't it? This is just destroying.
Very whaley.
Yeah.
Very whaley.
Yeah. It's the second best wailing I know after Jennings.
Well, you guys were getting ready for this song. I was getting ready to have a cocktail on this album.
Ooh,
Can I share a cocktail with you guys?
People get ready to laugh at what Russell has put into this cocktail. Russell, tell us about your Aretha Franklin Lady Soul cocktail.
Rob, this one is a classic. You may need to get the James Brown, the horns ready. The horns are going to have to be playing on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it start with a bun?
You're about to find out. Okay, so this one is from the book Booze and Vinyl, but it was actually for I Never Loved a Man. So it was for the other album, but this that's been more than a year since we covered that, right?
Long.
It's been a
Are you
long time ago.
serious?
It was in the top 10, yeah.
Are you serious?
It was in the new top 10.
That makes me think about Ruben Studdard again.
But so I went, so I went to the book and Booze and Vinyl, and on side A, and I think this still applies for Aretha. I'm drinking tonight. It's called an ice cream flip.
Ooh.
It is sweet and fruity. The drink is smooth and velvety, just like Aretha's singing. All right, so I'm going to tell you guys, have you ever heard of an ice cream flip? Rob, you're an ice cream guy. You got to like
And
this,
he's a
right?
flipper. And he
I'll
does
tell you what,
flips
when I was at the trampoline place, I did an ice cream flip like 3 times. Not a big deal to me. Okay, that's when
All
you're
right,
on a
here's the
trampoline and you're
ingredients.
eating an ice cream cone, and the workers are trying to stop you. But guess what? They can't catch you because you're bouncing around all over the place. It's like a gummy bear.
All
There's
right,
a reference
first
for you.
up in the recipe, 1 ounce of brandy, half an ounce of orange curacao, half an ounce of maraschino liqueur,
No, don't have that.
1 egg.
Okay.
Whole
Now
egg?
wait a minute, Russell. Before you go, I just want to see, guys, thumbs up or thumbs down. Does Russell actually have an egg? I'm going to go like this. Aaron, what do you think? Matt, what do you think? Okay, they said thumbs up. I say thumbs down. Okay, sorry, Russell.
1 scoop of vanilla ice cream.
Oh,
And freshly grated nutmeg for garnish.
Oh.
You combine them all into a blender, mix them up, and drink it.
Okay, stop right there because I
That
know
sounds like a Brandy
for fact
Alexander.
You don't have. It does sound like a Brandy Alexander. You do not have a blender. I know that for a fact.
I
So
don't have
gotta
a
hear-
blender.
No, you don't.
And I didn't have brandy either, so I
put it in my garbage
substituted rye.
disposal.
100% 100 proof piggyback rye is what I decided to substitute.
All right.
Well, you know who that-
Okay.
you not having brandy sounds a lot like Looking Glass. Because her man was in love with the sea. Brandy, you're a fine girl. Karaoke classic, by the way.
I did have orange curacao. I didn't have maraschino liqueur, but as we know, that just means I subbed in
cherries.
the juice from the cherries, right?
That actually works. That's not even.
Maraschino
a bad
liqueur
thing.
sounds so good. That sounds good to me. I
Right.
kind of want to drink that right out of the bottle.
I mean, it can't be better than the juice out of the cherry jar, though, right?
No, never.
No.
You like it a juice?
For
There
those
was a
who
distillery in Oakland that made a cherry liqueur, and they told us when we went to the tasting, they were like, "We call this one the panty dropper," and I didn't buy any. Like, what was I thinking?
What were you doing?
I don't know. I don't know.
You
why I didn't buy
idiot.
it. Yeah.
Can you imagine giving that to somebody and being like, do you feel like dropping those panties? Do you feel?
Anytime.
Huh?
Anytime.
I've been checking out a used Volvo.
for those
Yeah,
of
I
you
was
guys
gonna buy
that
a new one. It's used.
A new
For those of
Volvo,
you-
Aaron.
your
Nice.
dream was about a used one?
No.
Aaron's dreaming about like a Volvo with 120,000
Yeah.
miles on it.
Scratch and dent.
For those of you that believed I would put the egg in the drink, you are correct. I did put the full egg into the drink.
Thumbs up. That was my thumbs up.
I'm an idiot.
Unfortunately, I didn't have vanilla ice cream, and I went to the gas station, and they were out of it too. So I got strawberry ice cream. So instead, I'm doing a strawberry ice cream flip tonight, and it's delicious.
Good. That actually sounds good.
It's really good.
Let me see you drink that Rocky style. Oh yeah. Oh, drinking that egg and the strawberry ice cream. Oh my god.
I love the idea that like, well, ice cream's not rich enough. Let's put a whole fucking egg in there. Like that's such a great drink.
Oh.
It says the egg can be omitted, but it makes this drink extra rich. So you're spot on, Aaron.
Man, I have most of those ingredients. I don't have cherries, but I got brandy and strawberry ice cream. I'm gonna do it.
Oh.
gotta say, you go into a gas station to get ice cream, totally normal. The gas station not having vanilla, fucked. You got to find a new gas station. What are you doing with a gas station that has no vanilla?
Is my buddy Tutu still working at the SA up there?
I don't know who was working tonight, but I went in there and the ice cream, this must be like a supply chain thing. The ice cream was not strong at the Super America by my house or the Speedway or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And so I was looking and I was like, well, I could go with strawberry. And that seems kind of like in line with the fruity drink with the orange curacao and the maraschino and whatnot. Or I could have gone with like chocolate chip ice cream, but I figured chocolate's going to throw this all off, right?
Totally.
So I figured if there was no vanilla, strawberry was the best way to go.
You made the right
you guys
call.
think that's right?
Yeah, I love it.
The question is, Russell, are you going to throw away that strawberry ice cream tonight, or are you going to wait a couple months and then throw the strawberry ice cream away? What are you going to do with that strawberry ice cream?
I'm gonna 3 days. The moment you guys go jump off the Zoom, I am eating that shit.
Yeah. Oh my god! You would sit down to eat a bowl of strawberry ice cream? Gross.
I would. What, Matt? What you got?
No fruit and dessert. Get out of here. I love ice cream.
Are you dropping us out of the Russell drink corner? Is that
no, we're going.
Oh no, I was just going to play the thing because I thought that was such a great.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, that's almost an Irish Eyes. A strawberry flip. But without brandy, with no maraschino liqueur.
Oh, also, I did not have nutmeg for garnish.
So I would have guessed that. I would have given
Rob, how do you make nutmeg? Rob, how do you make nutmeg?
Rob would tell me how to make my homemade nutmeg.
Well, I can tell you they're selling it by the gram after I was at the trampoline park. Shave those things off. What did you use instead of a blender again, Russell?
I just let the ice cream melt a little bit and then I put it in my shaker and I kind of stirred it up and then I shaked it all up and it melted pretty good. It melted perfectly.
Yeah. Sounds great, man.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love the idea that
you guys
Russell's
were going to be disgusted by this, but it seems like you're all on board.
No,
I'm on board.
All right. I'm going to bring back a really old bit we haven't done in a very long time. Okay. So for this song, we got People Get Ready. And I think it's kind of important to go through this. The number of people that have covered this song.
Yes.
Nice. Just to understand, so we've got Bob Marley and the Wailers, Chamber Brothers, Bob Dylan, Rod Stewart, Human Nature, Vanilla Fudge.
Ooh. Yes.
Kenny Rankin. Don't know who that is. Ziggy Marley. Seal.
Oh,
yes. That's Seal. And then the one and only in 1985, Jeff Beck covered this song.
Oh!
So when it comes to covering People Get Ready,
yes,
who does it better?
Beck did it better.
Hey, Rob, I am a giant Beck fan. I wondered if he does it better. Does Giant Beck do it better?
My favorite cover.
This
my favorite
is
cover of
Giant Beck, and I just wanted to say, people get ready to be destroyed by me, Jeff Beck, Giant Jeff Beck.
My favorite cover of People Get Ready is actually Ava Cassidy, but she must not have made Matt's list.
My penis is the size of a chef's knife as well.
Well, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to look through.
That was fantastic, Matt. I didn't even know Matt knew the name of the podcast, and he pulled the Beck did it better than that. I'm impressed.
Well, these other two guys, Russ, aren't laughing at the Giant thing because that episode, they've never heard the Giant Neil Young episode. They don't know that I put the echo onto the voice, and it makes it funny.
Well, I knew, Rob. I knew.
Yeah, I know. You and I know what. Okay.
That was fantastic, Matt.
Next up, Aaron, what is it? I can pronounce this song. It's not a big deal. But how would you pronounce Aaron if you had to?
I guess I'd call it Nikki Hokey if I had to.
There we go. That's what I was going to say, too. Good job. You passed. Nikki Hokey.
Oh, thank you.
Man, listen to this, though. Just imagine you're this bass player and you're like, I'm going to play something funky, and then Aretha's going to come in.
That's some jazz. That's a good ride cymbal. That's some Tony Williams.
The writing credits for this song go to Jim Ford, and this helps remind me of something I got to bring up. Lolly Vegas and Pat Vegas, which reminds me that June 14th to the 17th, January, we will be in Las Vegas at the Link. We'll see you there.
So hard to edit.
I have to stop playing because it's so hard to edit when I have the music on. But are we going to do an episode in Las Vegas? We're not, right? We're not going to take any time to do an episode there.
No, you're not going to.
One of us decided one of us is not coming. So
one of us will not be there.
Yeah.
The rest of us are going to a trampoline park. It's going to be a great time.
Oh my God, I'm going to die.
I'm telling you guys, this album is so funky. I was listening to it driving up with the fam today. We were all grooving and jamming. And by that, I mean my wife was checking Instagram and my kids both had headphones in. Okay. So it was probably one of the top five vacation for me of all time. It was great. You make me feel like a natural woman.
Oh, is this a top 10 song that we've heard so far?
Yeah.
I think it might be.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the first time where now I don't feel bad that you guys ragged on Carole King so bad. You guys just tore her to shreds on that album.
I do feel bad.
And I felt bad at the time, and now I hear this, I'm like, yeah, there's a difference here, isn't there?
It's still a great song.
She can write.
Carole King wrote it.
Carole King can write.
Amazing writer.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Kanye rapping. Dude can write, but man, dull.
Yeah, it's like Prince. I mean, masturbating with a magazine like that, you got to think of that stuff. Like that's expert stuff, writing. I don't know, guys. I thought of that when I thought of Nikki.
Where did
I
they
haven't
do the
been able to
strings
get it out
on
of my head,
They
so I
must
had
have
to
dubbed
say
the
it.
strings in later. They didn't have strings in Muscle Shoals, did they?
Oh
I
yeah,
don't want to derail the podcast.
everybody.
They had a tub thumping. Oh,
Tub thumping.
let's just move on. That song is so good. And did we not? I mean,
finger symbols.
Rob, can we do a song parody about tub printing where you're leaving your butt prints on the tub, Chumbawamba style?
I get knocked down. I don't sit up again. For another couple hours.
My butt's still there in the tub.
Yeah. Oh, it turns out I think that was a permanent thing. That was not from me specifically, but
since you've been gone, has your family members had any complaints or not? Since you've been gone,
you make me feel like a natural woman is about having a big bush, right?
Oh God,
I don't think so.
This jamming.
Good piano on here too, right? Just like the honky tonk style with the driving rhythms.
This Signed, Sealed, and Delivered by Stevie Wonder. That's what this reminded me of. I was like, God, what song does this remind me of?
Yeah, I hear that.
Aaron, you were mentioning the rhythms. To me, one of the things I like, you guys have been talking all night about kind of that Muscle Shoals, the rhythm section that's been playing with Aretha on the first one and now this one. So I thought maybe what we could do is dive in a little bit to the Swampers, who are the rhythm section that played with Aretha. And we could do a list of the 5 greatest songs ever that feature the Muscle Shoals rhythm section, better known as the Swampers.
Russell, you never fail to come through.
That's what I smelled like after that trampoline park. Swampers.
Russell was going on at the bottom of that trampoline.
Matt has mentioned this before. There's a documentary out there. I think it's called Muscle Shoals, and it kind of gets into the whole like the history of the music down there, the recording studios, the backing bands, and everything. I would highly recommend it. Matt, you've talked about it before, but it is so good, don't you?
Yeah,
think?
I mean, it's essentially like this Bermuda Triangle, right? Of like Mississippi sound, and then you've got like Chicago influence coming down, a little bit of Tennessee and Kentucky, then you got some of your Florida, Georgia coming over, and it's like this central point where all of these people meet, right? And then these people who just grew up with all of that influence coming from all around them. And so it's like the heart of Americana music, if you want to get really sappy about it, right? Because of all these confluences of different sounds coming together, and it all kind of went right at Muscle Shoals there. So
there's this guy in the 60s, his name's Rick Hall, and he creates Fame Studios in Muscle Shoals. And so they, in the documentary, they talk about how it kind of creates a different kind of R&B. It's different than Memphis or Detroit or LA. It sounds different. And so he has this backup rhythm section, and they go on to tour with the Beatles, and then they left him and went to Memphis. So he forms this second rhythm section, and it's the second one, which they call the Second Fame Gang. And that ends up becoming the Muscle Shoals rhythm section that you hear about, or they're also known as the Swampers. So if you guys remember in the song by Leonard Skinner, Sweet Home Alabama, what does he sing about? The Alabama's got the Swampers or something like that.
Muscle Shoals, they have the
There
Swampers.
you go.
Right. Muscle Shoals got the Swampers. Same piano, you can hear it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, right. Is this that band?
It's not the band, but
they're emulating.
Now then he said, Lord, they get me off so much.
But
I'm
he
trying
talks
to think
about
what the
they pick me
Swampers
up
are
when
doing.
I'm feeling blue. Like that's a pretty cool shout out to a rhythm section out there, right? But
he's hitting the ride cymbal and then jacking off Ronnie Van Zant like crazy. Like this is the perfect day at the studio.
So they become this like really prominent studio band playing in Muscle Shoals forever. So the first song on the list is the first song that ever topped the charts out of Muscle Shoals. It's Percy Sledge, When a Man Loves a Woman.
Oh, I didn't know that was from Muscle Shoals. Listen to that snare. And there's the ride cymbal.
And there's Ronnie Van Zant in the back.
He's doing it.
And so when you watch the documentary, you guys were talking about Jerry Wexler. The guy who ran the studio played this for Jerry Wexler, and that's like what started the whole relationship with him and helped bring Aretha down to play there. Or actually, Aretha played there for one song, and then they were like, we're never coming back here.
Never coming back.
So the band had to come play with her, right? So next song on the list, this is Etta James, I'd Rather Go Blind. Check this out and tell me what current song this sounds like to you guys.
Something told me it was over.
So good.
It's that band that sings about Tennessee whiskey.
It sounds exactly like Tennessee whiskey. They ripped this song off, didn't they?
Is that Chris Stapleton?
Chris Stapleton just stole that song, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, you're hearing it in the background right now.
Beyonce's only mistake was trying to play Etta James in the movie Cadillac Records. She just could not. It just was not right.
So one of the cool things about Muscle Shoals is after Wexler hears Percy Sledge, he has this falling out with the studio in Memphis, and he decides to bring an amazing artist down to play in Muscle Shoals, an artist that is very fond of my heart. This is Wilson Pickett. The song is Mustang
Wilson
Sally.
Pickett or
Check
Wilson
it out.
Phillips. I don't know. Listen to this groove. Jesus. I mean, this stuff will make you scrunch your face up, and you got to move. Listen to the organ in there.
I always thought this song was just a tad too slow, though. I hate to be the negative
Wilson
guy.
Pickett was famously difficult to work with. Like, he basically worked himself out of the industry. Like, he could have been a huge star, but no one liked him.
They talked about that. He was really difficult to work with. An interesting thing about that song is it was originally recorded by Mac Rice in 1965. And Aaron, they did not have the organ on that one. So that's one of the reasons this one stands out is that organ being added to it.
That organ
But a really
crushes.
cool thing about that, when they originally were releasing that song, that Mac Rice, it was called Mustang Mama. And someone heard the song and told him to change the title to Mustang Sally. That person, Aretha Franklin.
Oh, Russell, this is so, oh my God.
You got to listen
Russell,
to Aretha.
This is so good. Yeah,
Mustang
Aretha,
Mama,
you were
though.
going to say something about this one on Wilson Pickett.
I was just going to say that it's from, every time I hear that song now, I think of the Full Monty. And just how funny it is that it's just a movie about guys getting naked. I don't know, but it still is funny to me every time.
Rob, what would be your Full Monty song if you were going to do a striptease or a shoe show, if you will? What would your song be?
Probably It's a Small World After All. And then there'd be no surprises.
I was going to say, what is your favorite thing about a movie where a bunch of guys are getting naked?
I just think the concept of it is funny, where they're like, oh, we should get naked. And then everybody just does it. I was thinking of that when I was walking through airport security, because I'm convinced, I know those x-ray scanners can see my junk. And so you know what I do every time before I hop into there? I throw it around a little bit. Got to chub it up just in case there's somebody look at those pictures. Got to give them the business. Got to look at. You got to be careful though, okay? Because you are being watched pretty closely, so you got to look out. But I recommend to everybody before you go through, chub it up a little bit.
just a little bit of movement.
Yeah, no, you can't do too much, man. I don't know, man.
Just
do not do too much.
Just a little bit.
You
No,
gotta
if
have
you're
your bulge underwear on too.
yeah, no, you cannot do too much. Otherwise, you will get pulled aside and given a number of tests that you may or may not want. I don't know.
Up to you.
So in
Maybe you're into that.
1969, the Swampers, they're supposed to sign this exclusive deal to keep playing at this famed studios down in Muscle Shoals, but they decided to chub it up a little bit, and they went out on their own and started their own studio. Jerry Wexler sets them up, so they leave the other guy high and dry, and they go start their own studio, and they struggle for a few years. And before we get to the next song, there was this really cool story. So they've got Leonard Skinner in there, and they're sitting there and they're practicing at their studio, and this guy's in there and he's starts playing the piano tune that eventually becomes Freebird. And the guy who was playing it, Matt, was their roadie. He wasn't even in the band, but he was like a concert pianist and he was playing that. And they're like, we need to record this. So they record it, 9-minute song. And he's trying to sell it to all these record labels. No one will put out a 9-minute song. So Skinner ends up leaving this studio, records it somewhere else, and they make it a hit somewhere else because no one would put out a 9-minute hit.
Can you imagine turning down Freebird? Just being like, God.
I'm the guy who turned down Freebird.
Yeah. It sounds like a lot like my ex-girlfriends who, when they see me on Facebook now, they're like, he was certainly my Freebird. Here's a guy that looks like he shit his pants doing a flip into a moist ball pit. And they're like, there goes my dream man. I really missed out on him.
But all of this, like Freebird, all of that came out right after, the Beatles, Rolling Stones, all of this stuff when they got rid of just making songs to be on the radio, right? I mean, this whole thing about having albums, about, starting your own music, using the recording devices and then ultimately the studio as as a form of art. That's what kind of you hear that throughout this whole list of why a lot of these albums from this time are on the top 100, let alone the top 500 list. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Freebird, people might make fun of it because it's kind of a Southern rock song or whatever, but it's an awesome song. So
it's so good. Every time I hear that guitar solo, it's just a killer.
Great song.
Absolutely.
Cost you $100 in Nashville.
Yeah, it does. And they have this new studio, but it's kind of struggling for a while. And then the Stones come down there and play there, but it turns out the Swampers didn't play with the Stones. They played at the studio, but the Swampers didn't back them up.
Right.
But a song that really crushes that the Swampers backed them up on is the Staple Singers, I'll Take You There. Check this one out.
Yeah.
I mean, listen to the bass.
Drums on this, too. With the little syncopation and the bass.
So this is the second one, though, right? Maybe because this one sounds pretty clear to me. Like this is the second.
This sounds way different, right? This is like definitely recorded in a different studio.
Oh. And to think that they started staple supply chain stores. It's crazy.
I read Rolling Stone editor David
They built
Fricke.
the Staples Center out in L.A.
I can't believe it. And they invented the
Rest
stapler.
in peace, Staples Center.
Right.
The weird thing is they had their name first and then invented the stapler. The Staple Singers had this thing where their bus, they got on the bus, just full papers all over the place, loose all over the place. They're like, what? Oh no, this is our
Can
contract.
someone collate this?
How are we going to know how to put them together? Yeah. And they're like, oh, it would be so cool if somebody would collate this and put it together. And little Bobby Staples got together and said, listen, I'm going to stick
Bobby Staples and Percy Swingline Johnson, got together.
Yep. And that's how the stapler is born. And that's a true story.
All right, last song on the list. This is when I went out on a date in Hopkins with the girl who swore a lot. It was on Main Street. The song is Bob Seger, Main Street. Check out the band here.
What a great
Down on fucking Main Street.
That is the Muscle Shoals sound, isn't it?
It is, right? And there's Rob's bass line again. It's just singing.
I hate this
I read
song
Bob
so much.
Seger. Most of his songs were with his backing band, the Silver Bullet Band. Those are two pretty cool, badass bands to be playing with you name-wise, right? Who would you rather have backing you up, the Swampers or the Silver Bullet Band?
Oh,
I gotta go with the Swampers.
Choose?
I feel like if I'm hanging out with the Swampers, I'm going to be the most attractive guy in the group, right? if it's Rob and the Swampers, Rob is the supermodel in the whole group, no doubt.
Yeah, I'd probably go with the Swampers, but it's close.
It's so good, Russell. That was such a good list.
I thought it was pretty
easily.
Everyone's got to go check
in.
that. Check that documentary out. It was amazing.
Yeah, you tied it all together.
And the new studio was like 2 blocks away, right? I mean, they had the original, and then the new one that they built was like literally 2 blocks away. So it's like, yeah.
It's funny too because Muscle Shoals is a town of like 3 people, right? Like it's mostly just the studio. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, where were we? Good to me as I am to you. Aaron, I wish you were as good to me as I am to you.
I try, Rob. It's hard. Jeez, there she's just going off again.
This is where I know I'm not allowed to talk about Radiohead, but this is where I hear this and I just can't get past Radiohead being higher on the list than an Aretha album.
I hear that.
You just don't get it, man. You just
I don't get it, don't I? This is like the art I don't get, Matt.
Yeah, you just don't get it.
I hear that. I think that's what I was trying to think about in my rolling going is that I sometimes will read a book or listen to music where it's a lot of work to try to understand it. And then I listen to something like this and I'm like, well, this just sounds fucking great. Like it's fun to listen to top to bottom. Why would I ever try hard to enjoy something when I can just put this on instead?
I think this, you know what you should do? I think we're all in our life pretty soon. We're going to have people going to college, right? And this would be a list of just like, okay, you're going to have people over and, you know, it can be guys, girls, whoever. You're going to have people over to your room and you're going to have to put on an album that people can listen to and you just sit and talk. This would be a top 5 album just to have on in the background that you put on to show that, hey, I'm a cool guy. I've got some taste. And it's going to set the tone of like, hey, this is a funky good time we're having in this dorm room. Okay. It definitely isn't, you know, maybe your freshman roommate constantly listening to the Back to the Future soundtrack over and over and over while you're trying to sleep. So all you hear is, I'm going to go back in time, which is what filled my dorm room. Was the Back
I can
to the
do you one
Future
better.
soundtrack.
My freshman roommate listened to Jewel Pieces of You at night on repeat. It was either that or U2 The Joshua Tree, and his CD player would get stuck and repeat parts of the Joshua Tree. And he needed music to sleep. Like literally while I was trying to sleep, I would hear U2 on repeat or Jewel Pieces of You. Yeah, I'd put this on instead. Good. That's a really good take, Rob.
College is a crazy time, isn't it? Like if I just said to somebody, you're going to go and live in this room that is small and you're going to live with this person
stranger
that you've never met before, right? And you're just going to live with them, you'd be like, oh God, you couldn't pay me to do that. You'd be like, oh no, that's the funny part actually. You're going to pay quite a bit of money and you're going to learn a lot of things that I was thinking of this the other day. I don't know if I use anything I learned in college in my job, except for the fact that I went to college. So I tell kids like, hey, this is what I did wrong in college. You shouldn't do this. Like, I don't know if I actually being, and probably being a roommate was the number one skill I learned of like, oh, I am a slob. Like it,
did your roommate the first 4 years not tell you to not put the towels in the sink or
we shared a bath. We didn't share a bathroom. My freshman year roommate was messier than I was.
Did that roommate get you bologna sandwiches when you were sleeping in bed?
God, I wish I would have married that guy. Oh, that would have been so awesome. And I would have said to him, hey, come back, baby.
Ooh, is it what? Is it true that Eric Clapton played the guitar on the last song too?
Yes.
He's on the credits, yeah.
And this one has got King Curtis on it, I think.
Yeah, playing sax.
Oh,
there's a little flute on this one. This had a lot of music going on.
Yeah.
If I could play the bass like this, I would never do anything else in my life. I think this was my dream when I started playing the bass. Now that I've dunked a basketball, that dream out of my way. I'm done with that. Now I want to play like this on this song.
This is King Curtis on this one, Russell, you said?
I think so, yeah.
Wow. I mean, she had clout. I
think it's King Curtis on the tenor sax, and then I know there were 2 flute players on the song. 2 flute players.
Two. If one's good, 2 is better.
Groovin'.
But yeah, was this one by the Rascals first?
Look it up. We should know.
I don't know. All I know, Aaron, just to get that carving knife going again.
The Young Rascals,
This does have the sweet inspirations on it, so I know you like the sweet inspirations.
You know that'll get the chef's knife.
Chef knife sharpened, ready to cut.
No doubt.
Ready to go through the X-ray machine at the airport.
The song was written by Cavalieri's newfound interest in Afro-Cuban music.
Oh,
it's nice.
I hear that.
Easy.
I hear that.
Oh, good.
Grooves.
Ain't no way.
Oh, this thing is a killer.
This is the 3rd single off this album. Did better than Chain of Fools.
Is this the last song?
Yeah.
This is a pretty great way to end an album with her just crushing it, right?
It sounds like the studio cannot hold her. It just sounds like she needed to be in a huge concert. I shouldn't talk when she's singing.
Yeah, imagine if Vince McMahon had to record this studio. He would sound terrible, wouldn't he, Rob?
Oh, it'd be... Vince, you gotta get way closer. That was terrible. This album is so funky. This is so good. God, I gotta say, guys, I have regretted doing this podcast so many times. No, I'm just kidding. I love it. Although hiding from my family on Christmas Day because I have to finish an edit, I was thinking, am I getting too into this podcast? But listening to an album like this, it's so worth it. It's so good. I mean, it just is. I don't get to rank these albums, but I love this. I thought this should be way higher up in the list. I think it should be higher than the other one that we listened to. I don't know. Let's get into the ratings.
And now it's time for everybody's favorite
with hot takes like that, I don't know why I don't do actual ratings. That was so good. So detailed.
Did it better rating system. Oh, yeah.
By the way, my kid used the word ain't the other day in conversation, and somebody like corrected her, and I was like, are we still doing that? We're still correcting. Just
it seems
say
perfectly fine to say.
Yeah, just say ain't.
People know what you're saying when you say it.
Yeah, who cares? I think it's more of it's an affect. Just let them do it. Listen, this is the rating system. This is album 75. Okay, is this album at 75? Rolling, well toned. That means it is perfect. Okay, so when we sit down and we make this list, and we're putting albums once again against each other, kind of in a head-to-head Royal Rumble of albums. Okay, let's say we got 500 albums. They're all in the ring. They're looking at each other. They're tossing each other. Oh, there go the Slits. They got tossed out already. Oh, there goes the Joshua Tree. It got tossed out already. Would this Lady Soul, okay, great name for an album. Too bad. I'm disappointed there was not a song called Lady Soul on the album. Would this get tossed out of the ring at 75? Right before the College Dropout, which would be tossed out of the ring right after that. Again, we are using my WrestleMania.
What if
Royal
Aretha
Rumble
and Aretha's
analogy.
albums both got in the ring at the same time, like they were number 1 and number 2 in the Royal Rumble?
Oh, now, Russell, now you've got me thinking, and I like when I start thinking. Actually, I was thinking about that strawberry ice cream that you're going to eat later, what that would do to my stomach. So is this a rolling well tone? That means it is perfect at 75. Is this a rolling groan? Ugh, this should not have been this high. This should be later down. Listen, Muscle Shoals plus Aretha Franklin. Who needs that? That is not what I want. Or is this a rolling boned? Okay, this should have been way higher than 75. We should have heard this earlier on the list. Now, of course, that means if you're going to the Rolling Stone website, this should have been clicked on later, because you do click 100 to 80, and then you go 80 to 60, and then you go 60 to 40, and then you go 40 to 20, and the last page is an interminable 20 to 1. Now, if you have not visited the Rolling Stone Top 500 Albums webpage, I highly recommend it. It is full of fun tidbits. It makes it basically is what we base this podcast around. Okay, it's like that, but more fun. So think about that. And again, every time I edit this part of the podcast, I am so bored. I don't know who enjoys this. I certainly don't, and I'm in charge of it. Okay, so Aaron, what do you think? Rolling well toned, rolling boned, or rolling groan? And don't forget, your wife took the garbage out because you didn't.
It's true, and I do appreciate that, and I wish that I had taken it out, but we had a busy night, and I just did a busy day.
It's only 9 o'clock your time. You still have time.
I love how we had a busy day. We did a lot of stuff. I did not take out the garbage. My wife did.
I messed up. I agree, and sweetheart, if you're listening, I apologize. Next time I'll get the garbage out.
Yeah.
But I will say about this album, man, I don't know how you can possibly. Anytime we get to hear Aretha, it really seems to me that she is one artist who, even though she has 2 appearances in the top 75 on this list, I just don't think Rolling Stone did right by her. I think when it comes to soul music, when it comes to pop singing, there's nobody else who does it like her. And on this one, when she's with a great band, what could be better? I'm with Rob. I actually think I'm not even sure this is my favorite Aretha album. I think Young, Gifted, and Black, which we haven't even heard yet, might be better because it has Rocksteady and Daydreamin' on it, and it has Billy Preston, and it has Donny Hathaway and Bernard Purdie. But I'm not even going to get into that. This one,
okay, it better have Bernard Purdie, or that's going to be strike 2.
It definitely does. He played on Rocksteady. He did the beat for Rocksteady. But yeah, this is Rolling Bone. It has to be higher. She's just too good.
Matt, what do you think? Rolling boned, rolling well toned, or rolling groan?
I mean, we keep getting into these discussions, and I think that if you say that Aretha Franklin is a top singer of all time, yes, right? Like, is this album, I mean, is there any different to me? And I'm a little bit of a contrarian take here. Is there that much of a difference between, album 8 and album 14? I mean, I think I get caught up in the fact that she's got 14 albums in like 8 years, right? And then after that, there's another 14. And so it's almost like a greatest hits, if you will. It's just people just spit them out. This album together, great. Like Aaron said, great singing, great songs, great backup, great musicians, all that stuff. So I'll just say, there's absolutely no argument of Aretha as a singer, her place in history for the pop scene and everything, from where she started on forward. But I'll just say this album is rolling, well toned right here at 75.
I just want to say that Young, Gifted, and Black is not even the next Aretha album we're going to do. We have Amazing Grace at 154. Really?
Oh, well, that's also fantastic.
And then Young, Gifted, and Black is all the way at 388, Aaron. So just to put that into perspective.
I know, but I also want to warn you guys. I see this on Rob's screen. When we get to that run of J Dilla Donuts, Radiohead in Rainbows, and Aretha Young, Gifted, and Black, I'm going to be insufferable. 10 years from now, when we hit that stuff, you're going to hate me talk.
Don't forget, right before that, we have Rocket to Russia by the Ramones. So it's going to be a real bunch of different music that we're listening to.
It's going to be fun.
Pixies a couple after that. That's what I'm excited.
Just to let you know, Aaron, we will be doing that album in 2028. Okay.
Oh,
at which point your child will be how old? My child will have turned 18, by the way.
Mine will
so
be
she
11.
and I will be out smoking cigarettes together and buying lottery tickets.
Oh, no.
So your kid's going to be how old at that time?
I think he'll be 11.
He'll be 11.
2028, yeah.
Just old enough in some states to get his firearms license. So I think that's going to be a good mix. I think that's going to be fun.
Get his own love blaster.
Well, no, he's going to be obsessed with guns. You might as well make it safe. That's always the way it goes. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Russell. Kids should learn how to get a firearms license. Give me a break. Russell, what do you think? Rolling well-toned, rolling bone, or rolling grown?
I think I would just echo what Matt and Aaron said. To me, you've got amazing backup artists, the Swampers, like we were talking about, King Curtis. You've got amazing songwriters that are writing songs. Aretha wrote some of them, but a lot of them, the Carole King one, all these songs are amazing. The lyrics are great. You got the greatest singer ever. I don't see how this shouldn't be rated higher on the list. You listen to like 10 of the last albums we've listened to. I don't see how this is below half of those. So it is Rolling Bone. It should be higher on the list.
You know who's a great backup artist? My dad, when he's putting the boat in at the boat ramp. He could just put it right back. It was incredible.
That's a great thing.
That is one thing I learned as I got older.
Turn into the turn.
Oh, it's
That's the key.
Backing up stuff in front of other guys at a boat ramp is one of the most emasculating. Emasculating? Is that the right word?
Demasculating.
No, I don't think it's demasculating.
Dismasculating.
Pro-masculating.
It's we'll do that later.
The only more demasculating thing is when you're the one who finally gets the boat backed in and it takes a while, and then you start driving the boat around and you realize you forgot to put the plug in.
Oh, it's terrible. We're going to be doing that later too. Guys, actually, this is a rolling Aretha Franklin.
Get it, Aaron? Puzzle pieces. Male, female.
Aaron will not be doing that later because he forgot about the trash. This is a rolling Aretha Franklin. Guys, what else do you need to say? It's Aretha Franklin. Everything she sings sounds wonderful. And with these backup artists, the funky bass, the great rhythm, even with this dirty sound, like it was so fun to listen to. If this is a CD that got stuck in my car for the rest of my life, I couldn't even be mad about it. What can you do? Next up, we have one of the few autobiographical albums on this whole list. It's all about Jimmy Snuka. We've got Superfly by Curtis Mayfield.
Superfly.
When you want to hear about the great.
By the way, saw Jimmy Snuka live in Rochester when he was there one time.
But you're just too lazy to
Don't look up Jimmy Snuka, by the way, on Wikipedia. Very problematic.
It's not a good look up.
Do not read about it.
Believe it or not, one of many pro wrestlers who you did not want to make a hero growing up.
Mental health issues seem to be abound there.
Beck did it better.
Okay, Russell.
Guys, I dropped some of the strawberry seeds from my milkshake onto the floor, and now it's wet like the bottom of a trampoline park.
Oh, did you seed the floor?
Do I need to clean it up, or can I just seed the floor?
I didn't even think about it being seeds at the bottom of the foam pit. Now it's. Oh, God, I'm going to go chop off my toes. That is so gross. And you know what's really sad is as soon as I put my foot down there and I touched wet foam, I instantly thought of you guys.
You're like, great material.
Like, this is going to the podcast.